Hello, my audience member for today is my husband, Charles Huber.
Hey.
That was Charles Huber. My specific purpose statement is to persuade my audience that global warming is real and a threat that needs to be wiped out. Climate change has pushed Earth into uncharted territory. That was the blatant warning published in the 2018 World Meteorological Organization report. Rising sea levels, melting Arctic ice, and record high temperatures are only some of the revealing signs. I'll support my three main points by using credible online sources from well-known organizations and accredited environmental scientists. I will first define exactly what global warming is and why people think global warming isn't real, and then provide evidence of global warming's existence. And finally, I'll talk about how we can stop global warming. Let me first describe what global warming is in a way that's easily understood. So what is global warming? As it is defined in the Encyclopedia Britannica's website, global warming is the occurrence of increasing average air temperatures near the surface of the Earth over the past 2 centuries. Climate scientists have since the mid-20th century gathered detailed observations of various weather patterns such as temperatures, precipitation, and storms, and its related influences on climate such as ocean currents and the atmosphere's chemical composition. These data, as described in 2019 online National Geographic article, indicate that Earth's climate has changed over almost every possible timescale since the beginning of geological time, and that the influence of human activities since at least the beginning of the Industrial Revolution have been deeply woven into the very fabric of climate change. Why do people think global warming isn't real? One reason why some deny that climate change exists is because of their own personal experiences. Those who live in the American Midwest might point out that they still have snow in the wintertime, and as the weathers they witnessed have stayed the same, they assume that climate change can't exist because it would otherwise change their experiences. According to an article by the Huffington Post, our President Donald Trump told the American public that he did not believe in climate change because he didn't see any real evidence. This is a comment made by millions of other people since the 2016 election and since the American president pulled out of the Paris Accords, which was a pact signed by several countries to change their environmental practices. Though there's evidence out there, those who deny climate change exists refuse to look at the evidence. There are claims that any evidence that provides it exists is a type of fake science done by those who want to change public opinions. There are some who think climate change is just a hoax and that the science used to back it up is a fake science. This group of people point out the lack of evidence and proof that it even exists. They seek out information that confirms their beliefs and ignore information that challenges them. This is the type of denial that the brain's confirmation bias is a natural tendency to seek out and interpret facts in a way that confirms their pre-existing beliefs. Now that I have described what global warming is and why people think global warming isn't real, I'll now go on to providing evidence that global warming is real. So what evidence is there that global warming exists? Evidence of rising temperatures is unescapable. Thermometer records kept over the past century and a half show that the Earth's average temperature has risen more than 1 degree Fahrenheit and about twice that in parts of the Arctic. According to NASA, on their climate change page via their website, the current warming trend is extremely likely, or greater than 95% probability, that the result of human activity since the mid-20th century and the preceding at a rate that is unprecedented over decades to millennia. Ice cores drawn from Greenland, Antarctica, and tropical mountain glaciers show that the Earth's climate responds to changes in greenhouse gas levels. ancient evidence can also be found in tree rings, ocean sediments, coral reefs, and layers of sedimentary rocks. The ancient evidence reveals that the current warming is occurring roughly at 10 times faster than the average rate of ice age recovery warming. I'll now show you some of the charts and graphs I have to represent this evidence. In this first graph, based on the comparison of atmospheric samples contained in ice cores and more recent direct measurements, it provides evidence that atmospheric CO2 has increased since the Industrial Revolution. On this axis, it shows the carbon dioxide level in parts per million, and on the x-axis, it shows years before today, 0 being 1950. And you can see today's current level, which is the highest it's ever been. In the second graph, you can see temperature anomalies on the y-axis, and the x-axis, the year, starting from 1880 all the way up to what they're predicting 2020. And this third is a picture of Muir Glacier in Inlet, Alaska, and here is the year 1880, and then here is in 2005. You can see it's completely melted. You may be wondering now, since I've spoken about the evidence of global warming and its real threat to the Earth, what can we do to stop global warming? So how can we stop global warming? In order to effectively address global warming, we must significantly reduce the amount of heat-trapping emissions we are putting into the atmosphere. We have the technology and the practical solutions at hand to accomplish it, which is the good news. As individuals, we can help by taking action to reduce our own personal carbon emissions. But to fully address the threat of global warming, we must demand action from our elected leaders to support and implement a comprehensive set of climate change solutions. This list of recommendations was given by the Union of Concerned Scientists for Global Warming Solutions. The first solution is to expand the use of renewable energy and transform our energy system to one that is cleaner and less dependent on coal and other fossil fuels. The second is to increase vehicle fuel efficiency and support other solutions that reduce U.S. oil use. There's also another solution that says to place limits on the amount of carbon dioxide that polluters are allowed to emit into the air. Then another is to build a clean energy economy by investing in energy efficient technologies, industries, and approaches. And finally, reduce tropical deforestation and its associated global warming emissions. To bring this to a close, I will now discuss my final points on global warming. After discussing all of the evidence of the Earth's overall rising temperature due to human-produced greenhouse gases and steps everyone can take to help bring an end to at least a significant slowdown to global warming, I hope I have opened some of your eyes to the seriousness of this threat. The fact of the matter is that Earth's temperature will continue to rise as we continue to produce greenhouse gases. The estimates for how much temperatures will increase by 2100 range from 2 degrees Fahrenheit to as much as 6 degrees Fahrenheit.